Hi, my name is Dylan Jones from Austin, Texas. I'm a professional musician of 20 years, a music educator of 15 years, and I'm the founder and director of Anthropos Arts, which is a nonprofit that brings professional musicians into low-income schools to provide free lessons and workshops and performance opportunities to at-risk teenagers. Check it out.
Anthropos Arts is a nonprofit that brings top professional musicians into low-income schools to provide free lessons, workshops, and performance opportunities to at-risk middle and high school students. We are a three-tiered program, the first tier being workshops. At our workshops, we bring a combination of local all-star musicians, touring, and even Grammy-winning artists into these same Title I schools to offer large-scale concerts and interactive workshops. Now, the second tier of Anthropos programming is our lessons program, where we take the best musicians in Austin and pair them with young musicians who really want to study but cannot afford a private teacher. The third component of Anthropos programming is performance opportunities. All of our lesson students get to share the stage with their professional musician mentors at our annual concert at Stubbs Amphitheater, one of the biggest and best venues in Austin. In addition to our annual showcase, we also take students to perform at such huge events like Austin City Limits Music Festival, South by Southwest, Pachanga Latin Music Festival, etc. Countless gigs, constant opportunities for our students to get up on stage and show what they know.
So a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas, and music was a saving grace for me. I was blessed enough to have parents who are hardworking school teachers and were able to afford to pay for me to have music lessons. At a time that I was most depressed and even suicidal in my life, I met my music mentor, Dwayne Hager, an incredible bass player. And he really inspired me and was one of the first non-family adult, non-authority figures who said, hey man, you're good at this, you really need to pursue this, and you should feel confident about how you play and how you approach music. And it was so inspiring. Nobody ever had to tell me to practice, nobody ever had to tell me to do it. I just geeked out on it and sat in my room and practiced and got pretty good pretty fast. I started playing professional gigs when I was about 16 and continued that, and really that was the first time that I was exposed to the rest of the world outside of my neighborhood. I began meeting people from other cultures, I began learning other languages, and as a touring musician, meeting lots of cool friends and a diverse group of people. And it really literally saved my life. And once I got into college and in Austin, Texas, I started playing in this phenomenal music community, a very rich community of incredibly talented musicians. I'm a bass player, so as the bass player, you never have to be the best musician in the band. Sometimes you have to play 3 notes, and you have phenomenal players all around you. So I was noticing, what an incredible blessing this was. I had talented people all around me, and I also realized that the only reason that I was able to do this and to advance to this professional level is because I had that mentor who really, made it clear for me and helped me get to that phase. I wouldn't have done it ever if I hadn't had this one mentor. I had been doing work with kids in halfway houses and other kind of volunteer community work in my Austin community, and when I started talking to these kids, I realized they had no connection to this music community that was right around them. They couldn't go to clubs and see shows at night. Their families couldn't afford to pay for big festival tickets or concert tickets, and so they didn't realize that down the street from them was the best trumpet player in the state of Texas, or down the street was the drummer who played with the touring band all over the world. And so I decided that, to do a little research and find out how many of these kids didn't have that opportunity to have a musical mentor or to be exposed to this kind of music. 13 years ago, I founded Anthropos Arts under the premise that I'm going to bring this music to the kids and make sure that everybody has an equal opportunity to pursue music education, because I realized what an incredibly invaluable thing it was in my life. 3, 4, 1. Grammy-winning artists touring through town, come and do concerts and workshops for up to 1,000 kids at a time. The second tier of Anthropos programming would be lessons. We bring professional musicians into schools to work with students who could not otherwise afford music lessons. They work one-on-one with kids in a mentorship and music training role.
One-on-one is priceless for a student to be able to learn and just have contact with somebody who's doing what they aspire to do.
With somebody working with me that's a professional and that plays the same instrument as me, it's actually very challenging because if I hear him play really good, I want to play really good myself.
When I have difficult stuff that I can't do and I feel like I can't do it, then he just come and help me. He showed me easier ways to do it and strategies.
I just really think it's great that they have this program, considering, you know, I can't afford the lessons. I'm a single mother, 2 kids, and the fact that, you know, they picked him was very exciting.
It helps me a lot, like learning the notes and how to put them together and all that.
Music is also like a place where I can go for emotional retreat. Whenever like I'm very depressed, I can just go to a piano and play it. Just play what I feel.
I love music. It's just that's my passion. I'm a singer, a songwriter, and I play my instrument for fun.
She was excited that I had a chance to show that I can play, and that it's just another learning opportunity to get better at my instrument.
For my musical dreams, I do want to take it to college, and I want to be a professional mentor also, so I can teach other kids the way that I've been taught.
I would like to go to LSU college, and if I could, I'd actually like to become a band director at a middle school.
I plan to play music in college, probably play more than one instrument. Like right now I'm leaning more towards Prairie View just because they gave me the full scholarship, like right on the spot. Before I got the scholarship, I was like, oh, where am I gonna get the money, any money, you know? And then it's like a miracle that this happened.
I believe it's wonderful to see all these the families and friends and the kids, everybody smiling, and it's positive, it's teaching them something. It's just wonderful, and I hope they keep going.
I mean, when she first came to me and asked me about it, told her follow those dreams. That's all you can do. It's long dreams do them.
Thank God for teachers who really go out of their way, you know, to give free lessons to these kids who are really wanting to learn it, because, you know, this is something he's very interested in doing. Music makes you happy, and you know, as you can see, we're smiling.
So I founded Anthropos Arts 13 years ago, started slowly, trial and error. As of today, 2011, my role with Anthropos Arts is executive director, program coordinator, music arranger, parent-student liaison, recruiter, teacher, trainer, bookkeeper, grant writer, head fundraiser. It's 2 or 3 full-time jobs wrapped into one with about half-time pay. But I think it's absolutely worth it because of the amazing results that we've had. Our students go to schools in which there's a 60% graduation rate from high school on average. And over the last 6 years alone, we've had 100% of our students graduate from high school, more than 80% of them going on to college. All of those going on to college, 100% of them on scholarship, a lot of them full rides, and I just can't say, you know, how proud I am of that. The results are very real to me, so, you know, it never feels, we don't feel the sting so much when we don't have a lot of money for ourselves, because we know that we're doing something good for kids that, you know, have grown up with even less than us. However, I would love for us to get more resources together to help more kids, and some of those things would, you know, first and foremost, we need a headquarters. We need a safe place, rehearsal spot where our kids know they can come, they can rehearse, we can have tutorial sessions for academic stuff, and I really want to have and create a rehearsal complex where students who unlike kids who have money and houses where they can rehearse and can afford amps and instruments and PA systems, we want to create that for students that from low-income families, where they have a spot that they can go and they can trade volunteering and community service hours for rehearsal time. I want to see more bands from East Austin, which is the lower income side of our town. I want to see more bands created by those students, our Anthropos students, creating their own bands, writing their own music. Because anytime you see a competition in Austin or a battle of the bands or something like that, it's all kids with money, which is fine, and I'm glad they're creating stuff, but it's not equal, it's not equitable. And I want to hear the voices, I want to hear what kids from the schools that we serve have to say. And I want to give them an opportunity to earn some time to do rehearsal, have their own rehearsal space to put together their own music. And so our pie in the sky dream, which is not too huge, is to have that space where we have rehearsal rooms. We have one big rehearsal room where we can get all the Anthropos kids together. We have a space available where all the parents know where it is. It's in their neighborhood. Parents can get there. Kids can get there. They know they can come there anytime. We can have study halls set up where we can do our SAT tutoring, all that. We need the Anthropos Center, because we've been doing a whole lot of great work by going to 12 to 15 schools. We've been doing all this great work by going to 15 different schools every year, getting all these different kids from different schools together in a single place to rehearse. And we usually have to, really leverage our goodwill with people to be able to use their rehearsal facilities and get those kids together. Okay, so two other important elements of Anthropos programming that make it appealing to our students and also strengthen our curriculum are culturally relevant music and repertoire and improvisation. So whereas most school band programs play music that's catered towards UIL competition, which is steeped in Western classical European music, sometimes that's hard for our students to relate to. If they don't grow up in their house listening to it or hearing it in the cars that pass by or their siblings listening to it, whereas we play a lot of Latin, jazz, hip-hop music and a lot of world music that I bring to them, stuff that they haven't yet been exposed to, but it's funky, and so they can get it rhythmically, it makes sense, and it makes you bob your head, and we use that as a structure and a format for them to learn how to work their instruments. Second component that's very important that I see makes a drastic difference in the lives of kids is teaching them how to improvise, which you rarely have opportunity to do in any kind of school band program. Teaching a kid to improvise a solo is huge. Every kid that steps on our stage has to improvise a solo at least once in their first year. And not only does this open up an avenue of self-expression, but it really helps you get over stage fright. It helps you develop confidence, and the confidence is what we want to build in kids. We're not necessarily trying to get them to all be professional musicians, but we want them to feel confident about everything they do in life. So when they step up on stage and even if they only use 3 notes, they play a solo over a complex Latin composition or jazz composition, and they have a crowd of people and parents applauding for them and yelling and screaming for them. When they step off stage, they're like, yeah, I'm cool. And I watched that transition into them becoming more confident students, not feeling shame and excelling and doing well. They want to practice more, they want to get better, and it improves the family dynamic because the parents are like, oh my god, my kid's a rock star, I didn't even know. They're taking a solo next to the best trumpet player in town, and it makes them become leaders in their band and in their school and in their community, and it affects them across the curriculum. Over annually, more than 60% of our kids, their grades go up during the time that they have an Anthropos mentor and they do that programming. And almost every single one will tell you after the year is over that they feel more confident than they did when they started.
Freshman at Maynard High School.
So my wife Carol and I feel very blessed to have what we have. Our existence is a little bit meager, but it never bothers us because we're constantly inspired by the students that we work with, helping them overcome obstacles and seeing them go on to college and get out of their neighborhood and be exposed to new things and grow and become confident. It's just perpetual inspiration, and I feel like the luckiest person in the world because I have a great community, a great family, great students, and the opportunity to play music, which is a true blessing and a gift from God.